bony skeleton is highly specialized connective tissue, well vascularized, highly metabolically active, and gives support and protection to your body, harbors cavities containing bone marrow, and it bears your weight so hard enough. We will discuss about the bone composition. The bone consists of the bone cells, as you can see in the picture, and the extracellular matrix. Now the bone cells, there are four type of bone cells. Number one, you can see that there is a osteoprogenitor cell being written as osteogenic cell. What about it? It is originating from the embryonic mesenchymal connective tissue. And where it is located? Let me tell you, it is located in the inner lining of the periosteum and the endosteum. It is also resting in the Haversian canal and the Volkmann canals of the compact bone. We will discuss them later on. Now let me tell you about the shape of this osteoprogenitor cell. It is spindle-shaped cell with the processes you can observe. And what about its nucleus? It is ovoid in shape. And what else is there? Its electron microscopic structure is showing that it consists of small Golgi apparatus. Few rough endoplasmic reticulum is there, but so many free ribosomes are inside. So the cytoplasm is, you can see, faintly basophilic. And what's special about it, that as they are the bone forming cell, you would say, and they have the potential to divide mitotically throughout the life. And if they are stimulated like in any injury, they have the capacity to differentiate into the second type of bone cells called osteoblasts. So you can say that they act now as the inactive form of osteoblast. Now consider the second variety of the bone cell. These are the osteoblasts. From where they get arrived or originated? They definitely come from osteoprogenitor cells we just discussed now. And where they are located? They are found on the surface of the bone. And if you are interested that how they look like in their shape, they are low columnar to cuboidal, and their nucleus is located high up and single large and rounded one, showing euchromatic pattern, means lightly packed form of DNA, RNA and protein is there, and loose chromatin, you can mention this. And what about another thing that is special, that they are markedly basophilic, and under electron microscope they are showing much more rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now look towards another variety of the cell, which is the osteocyte. These osteocytes, they are derived from the osteoblast. They are called as mature bone cells, and now they are not showing the capacity of mitosis, but rather they are long living cells. And where they are located, you can see them being embedded in the bony matrix between different laminae, which we will discuss later on. And what about their shape? Their shape is like almond shape, you can see, with so many cytoplasmic processes being mature one. And if you talk about its cytoplasm, which is now less basophilic stained, its nucleus is single, small, a little bit elongated, and act as a heterochromatic, means condensed chromatin is there. Now under electron microscope, as being having less rough endoplasmic reticulum, so it's the reason of its less basophilic stained. Now function is, it has to maintain the bone, so you can mention that bone maintenance is the responsibility of this particular cell, and the function of the osteoblast was to form the bone, means bone formation. Now The fourth variety of the bone cell are the osteoclasts. These are bone marrow derived multinucleated giant cells, and you find them into the house-shaped lacunae. It's being mentioned. What are they? They are shallow depressions called resorption bay as well. And as I have mentioned, they are very large, motile one, and you can visualize so many nuclei in them, and they are strongly acidophilic due to the abundant mitochondria and lysosome inside. They are also having much more number of Golgi complexes in them, and the particular thing that their nuclei are also occupying the upper part of the cell, and their lower end is not showing the organelle. And what's special about its lower end? The low part of these osteoclasts is showing so many finger-like processes, and these processes are called as, or they form the ruffled border, and showing the deep infolding of the plasma lemma, and they can change their shape in a sense, and this area adjacent to this ruffled border is devoid of cell organelle but rich in actin filament, and it is also called as a clear zone. And now near to that you can see the subosteoclastic compartment present between the ruffled border and the bone on which it is resting or lying. Here these osteoclasts, they secrete hydrogen ion, collagenases and further hydrolytic enzymes in the compartment. So why they are doing that? Because they have to perform the function of bone destruction, bone resorption, and they dissolve the inorganic component and digest them up. This is the property of phagocytosis. So doing these function, they become the part of mononuclear phagocytic system. Now something about the bony matrix. This bony matrix consists of the organic substances and the inorganic substances. And you know, organic substances must include the collagen fibers. Mainly it would be showing type 1 collagen, and the other are the glycosaminoglycan and the glycoprotein. And you must be knowing that your bone matrix is having much lower content of water in them, so they are much harder tissue. And what else is there? That the inorganic component that makes 65% of your bone consists of definitely the calcium, phosphorus and other ions like sodium, potassium, magnesium, bicarbonate and citrate. And it's being told that if we remove the organic component from a bone, so what happens to your bone? They become white, brittle and becomes a fragile mass. Definitely will retain its shape but breaks very easily, becomes brittle. And you must be knowing that if we remove the inorganic component from the bone becomes so soft and it becomes so flexible as a tendon. Now you can see the parts of a long bone. Here we have to discuss first its upper end, which is expanded and bulbous. It is labeled as epiphysis. It is filled in its center by the spongy bone, and on its outer side there is the thin layer of the compact bone, and on its very outer side there is the articular cartilage made up of hyaline cartilage on its articular surface here. Now see that there is the shaft of a long bone, which you label it as diaphysis. This diaphysis is totally composed of compact bone, with the thin region of spongy bone on the inner surface around the central marrow cavity you can see. Now concentrate that this whole long bone is covered on its outer side by a layer called periosteum, and you can also see that there is the inner lining called as endosteum. Now there is another term you have seen which is called as epiphysis, and after diaphysis this term is metaphysis. What is metaphysis? This is a flattened portion of your bone between the diaphysis and the epiphysis, and you call it as metaphysis.